Starting a brand new game can be pretty overwhelming, as there's a ton of beginner tips and tricks that you could learn on the web. But today we're going to be going over the 3 biggest tips that I think you need to know when you start a brand new account in Honkai Star Rail in 2024. And I'll be showcasing to you how I personally utilize these 3 tips on my brand new account. First one's going to be these immersifiers that you can utilize in the simulated universe with Hera. Now you gain access to a couple of them each week for the resets on this point reward shop. If you don't have current score 7,000, don't worry, this changes as your equilibrium level changes as well. And there's another thing that'll change with your equilibrium level too, and that is unlocking harder difficulties of these floors. As you can see, the first time you unlock floor 4, you can't even get 5-star relics, but you can use your immersifier here if you desire. But if you hold on to them until you start unlocking difficulty level 2, difficulty level 3 on some of these floors, you can gain access to either 5-star drops for these unique 2 pieces that you can only find in here, or increase your ons and try to get maybe 2 to drop per immersifier used instead of just 1. And there's a lot of different floors here that you want to be able to target. I think this one right here is going to be a fantastic for support. So I'm going to have a video coming out on it soon, because I think it's pretty broken if you can utilize it correctly and you know everything about speed tuning. So look forward to that in the future. But this one down here is going to be probably the go-to for a lot of players. It's just a fantastic set for pretty much any damage dealer. You don't even have to get full value of the ultimate and follow-up attack. If you just have one of the 2, then you're good to go, because the 8% crit rate is just so nice as well. And you can gain access to this right away when you get World 6 difficulty 1. And while it might take you a little bit of time to get there and actually defeat this floor, and you have time to save these up for this as well, because yeah, you're going to get 2, maybe 4 per week from the Hera points, but you can save up to 8 of them. And it's going to be a couple of weeks for you to be able to save 8 of these bad boys and then get in here and try to get some of these really nice 5-star drops. Maybe you're close to 40, save them up, use them at 40. Maybe you're getting closer to 50, save them up, use them when you're 50. So I'd recommend saving them up and using them in one of those ways that's going to bring value to your account. Only you can make that decision. But there's a lot of great things you can do with these immersifiers. Don't just feel bad for letting them sit there until you are ready to start capping out on them. Then use a couple of them, but wait until you have access to 5-star relics. Now, another big one is going to be misusing your amazing self-modeled resin that you get from hitting 40 in the battle pass. This is even if you're not paying for the battle pass. It's on the free side of the battle pass. So this is going to be basically, from what we can see, an extremely rare, maybe a battle pass one time a month or so material. What I would suggest to you is to use it on the piece of gear that is the hardest for you to get the correct main stat for. And as it's a main stat selector, you can't really use it with head or hands anyway. So what about body or feet? So the feet, you have access to 4 different stats, one of the different ones being speed. And then the body piece here, that was the one I would really home in on, because this has, look at 7 different main stats that this body piece can roll. It's going to be the hardest one. Think of like the circlet of Genshin Impact. This is one of the 2 things that you would want to use your self-modeled resin on. Getting something with crit chance main stat as a DPS. Most DPS are going to need a crit chance main stat body piece, is something that is definitely worth targeting there. Maybe you want a crit damage body piece for someone like Yang Sheng or someone like Brania. That could be good there too. But I think most of the time it is going to be well worth your once a month or once a battle pass piece of gear to craft the main stat body piece of crit rate, because it's going to be so good for so many DPS. Use it on a DPS set that is going to make your character do much more damage than before, because you want to be able to have that hyper carry potential of whatever character you're invested in the most. Or an even better one is going to be in planner ornament synthesis down here. So you can pick the setup that you want. You're going to have access to crafting a planner sphere of the main stat you want. And this is the equivalent of the goblet of Genshin Impact over here in Honkai Star Rail. Look at all the different main stats these can roll. So this is definitely going to be your #1 priority on using your self-modeled resin. If you already have a damage boost orb that is the right set that you want, and you're investing in your hyper carry, then go and craft the body piece of their set and make it the appropriate main stat, whether it's crit chance or crit damage. Probably going to be crit rate though for the main stat of a DPS in Honkai Star Rail. Those are the 2 things you want to use your self-modeled resin on though. And I know I want to be like, play the game your way, have fun, but for this thing specifically, if you're crafting something other than an orb or a body piece with this, I'm going to have to say you're probably using it the wrong way. All right, here's going to be another one. This could be a little controversial. I'm not going to say you should go out of your way, spend all of your currency, all of your resources to try to clear as many floors of Memory of Chaos as humanly possible. I personally need to work on a secondary team, and I could probably force one. Could do a bunch of resin refreshes. I could use all of my Trailblaze power, all of my refueling fuel to get a secondary team to go in here. My first and primary team that's made up of these characters right here, I can beat this in basically one cycle. I could one cycle it with this mono offense team because I've invested quite a bit into my main DPS, and I'm starting to invest in my support characters now for my primary team. And I'm doing that the way that the game intends you to do it, which is pretty slow. So don't go out of your way to make sure that you can use all your energy and farm everything up, get rid of all your resources just so you can clear maybe up to floor 3. Because let me tell you what, when you're out of resources, you can't level your characters anymore, and you're not getting all the substat rolls that you want, and you literally have expunged everything from your account just to try to beat 1, 2, 3, 4, and you still can't beat 5. You're going to be left with a bunch of characters in fine gear, maybe not the greatest gear. Maybe you took some gear and you're like, you know what, I'm going to plus 12 this, I'm going to plus 15 this thing. It's okay, I can use it. But then you're out of resources. And then when you get that really nice piece of gear down the line, you're not going to be able to upgrade it. You're not going to be able to outfit your characters in the best gear that you can have access to because you spent all your resources trying to clear this as quickly as possible. I know, I understand it resets, right? We have what, 9 days for this whole entire thing to reset. Listen, unless you're a giant gigaton whale with an infinite Amex card, you can't really pay enough to get enough power to clear all the way up to 10 right away. So what you're going to be doing is using your resources to try to get up to like 3 or 4, and then you're done. What you want to do is take your time. You have 9 days to get as much power, as many pieces of gear, as many talent upgrades as you want to clear 2, to clear 3, to clear 4. And you're going to be able to do it without spending everything. Do it in a more efficient manner. Don't pressure yourself to get ready for all of Memory of Chaos right away. I'm going to be slowly working on my secondary team. I'm going to be working on my level 50 characters you can see here with like March and Bailu, and get Clara up and ready and rocking and rolling. Maybe I'll do some Pela action as well. So I'm going to have 8 to 9 to 10 characters at decent levels, 60, some of them 70, so I can get through this very easily. And I know it's a little frustrating, a little infuriating. We have some rewards. You could miss them. They could refresh, right? You could feel really bad about that. But if you're refreshing using Stellar Jades and getting gear that's 4 stars, that's not really that good, just so you can maybe get a couple extra stars a week, are you really gaining the rewards? If I'm spending an extra 200 Stellar Jades a week or whatever to try to get an extra couple of stars, am I really gaining Stellar Jades if I'm spending 200 for a bunch of 4-star gear I'm going to throw away just to get 60? So slow and steady is going to be the approach for me for Memory of Chaos. So no matter what it is you choose to do, it's going to be your choice to do it. Until then, guys, thumbs it up, and I'll see you in the next one.